Am I ready to hand over the crown? I've been waiting for somebody to take this crown for years, and not 2 or 3. We're talking of 6 years here waiting. But remember, I don't give it out. You have to take it from me. This isn't something I will give out to somebody I choose. You have to choose yourself, and if you think you chose yourself, I have no choice. I have to. You take it from me. Yeah. So the question really is, am I ready to give it to the next winner? Yes, I'm ready to give it to the next winner.
I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
This is 24 hours after Ironman Lake Placid, and we are here at the headquarters of Imlp in Lake Placid. In 2012, I did Ironman Lake Placid. My family was not there, and I decided to introduce a title, the title of who would win the Ironman race. And I held the title for 2 years, and I wanted something more than just a title. So I decided to put a name to the title, and that is who will win the race will wear the crown, the king crown. Meaning you are king as long as you win the race. That was back in 2012. Many years have passed, and we are here now in Ironman today. Every time I race, I put the title on the line. Whoever can beat me, he gets the crown. And I am true to my word. Yesterday, everybody fought a good fight. Everybody kept the faith. The conditions were harsh, especially the bike. Even the pros said so. And if you see, I'm starting to get teary-eyed.
Oh.
Because I love doing this thing. It pushes me, it pushes my friends, and although we say this is all for fun, this is not all for fun. This is all for machismo. This is all to get us going, keep us healthy. Yesterday, I did my best. I will admit that I always do. But somebody else did a had a better day. I will say, uh, I was waiting for him to fade. I was waiting for him to fade, and I knew he was going to fade, but I learned that after the fact. Unfortunately, I started to fade first, and that is where the real race begins. Who will fade first? And once I learned to say to myself, screw my ego, I stopped my race. Yesterday, I had four opportunities to say, screw my ego. It is against my philosophy to walk in the marathon. I said to myself, screw my ego. And so I started walking a little bit. It is also against my philosophy to let a girl pass me. Screw my ego. And so I let Stacy pass me. And I decided to reel in everyone. And finally I said, it is also my personal philosophy not to DNF. I almost DNF. And that I said, I will not screw my ego. I will walk all the way home. Otherwise, DNF is forever in the records. So, with no further ado, let me introduce the person who I will pass the crown to. And remember, the reason why he's getting this is because he won the race. The only way you can get this crown is if you race with the crown. And he raced with me on even playing field. And so he has the crown. If you want the crown, you will have to race with him. And he chooses the race. You don't choose it. He chooses the race. The way I do, you join me and we race. So, without further ado, here is Jansen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. When I was inspired to do triathlon, that was the time the king persona came to be, and that was 6 years ago. And it was my goal to get the crown. And yesterday, those dreams came true. But I will say that for the persona of the king, he will always be the king for Imlp and for everywhere, because that's a personality nobody can match and nobody else can carry except for Attorney Andrew Casino. But I will say it was a hard fought fight, and the old man, he fought very well to the end, to the bitter end. But as they say in triathlon, whoever fades the latest wins the race. So that's how it happened, and I'm sticking with it. And finally, after 6 years, I have the crown. So with that, I thank you for everything, for the inspiration, the trash talking, and everything that went about for the past 6 years. And it made me who I am today. Because I knew one day I was going to take this crown. I just didn't know when. And yesterday was that day. Now we know. That's it. That's it.
All right, Jansen, congratulations.
Thank you.
You fought well. I knew at the beginning I could beat you.
I know.
But you fought well, and at the end of the day, it is who gets the best time.
Yes.
So I am passing on this very expensive Party City crown. You need to put the shades. That's worth about $6.
Looks expensive.
Right? We are putting this very recently washed crown on you, and I will remove this very heavy cape, put it on you, and this is the first and last time I have the opportunity to actually wring your neck.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we're not done yet. So I need to tie this knot. You know, the hardest act to do now is the hardest act to follow now is to look good in this thing. It's very hard to follow my act.
That's true.
I never realize I actually look good in this stupid outfit. And we have a slight problem here. Jansen brought a good point that when the crown was created 6 years ago, it was really meant to say that you won the race. The character of the king was farthest in my mind. Unfortunately, I started wearing it, and I was just being myself. So now everybody associates it with the crown. It is not the crown. I am me. I don't know how I'm going to continue that for film try. But anyway, the crown is for the one who won the race. So, my
Okay.
man, yesterday I was telling myself I will live to fight another day.
Okay.
I just don't know if that next time will come. I don't know when, but it has to be a triathlon because we are film try. It has to be a triathlon. I do not. Nobody gets the crown on a marathon or a swim or a century. It has to be a triathlon.
I
And
will choose.
only if Jansen will decide to race on that race.
I will choose the day of that race, and everybody will know, and everybody will fall.
And if he chooses a race, then and you want the crown, you have to join that race. Okay, guys.
Okay.
I'm happy. I'm actually very happy, and the load is light.
Okay.
And now Inday can
On to housework.
Do all the housework.
I
Okay.
can now do the housework.
There is a new king, and that is me.
Okay. Thank you, Film Try. As we see you next time.
Represents.
Represents.